A water that I didn't have to drink when I was growing up. I had yellow or brown water. Now we flush the toilet with the clear water and we just sit here and complain about how tough life is. What you know about toughness? What you know about growing up with no electricity and no water and no food to eat? I was born in the war zone, Baghdad, Iraq. I lived through the war zones. Number one reason people just fall. They die in their 20s, they just get buried in their 70s. How you surround them to tell you who you are, and what you're capable of. That's not who you are, that's not your capacity. Exactly. My crazy story, okay, I'll tell you this.
What's up? What's up, family? Welcome back, guys. Hey, listen, man, is this your first time joining us, guys? I'm Rob Van Harris, guys, and this is the Rob Van Harris Show, guys. If you're a returning guest, member, it's a tribe here, guys. We're a community. I call it, member. You're a member, a returning member. Listen, man, welcome back. Guys, you know what we focus on here, man. Real estate mindset, right? So we don't only want to help you to thrive in real estate, but our focus, guys, is to help you to thrive in life. So we do that by bringing on real people with real stories that's yielding real results, guys. And today, man, I have a special guest with me again, guys. And I promise you, man, this is one you do not want to miss. This one is for the books. I promise you, man. If you someone that's bumping up against the ceiling, just can't seem to get you over, let's say your first real estate deal, or you someone bumping up against the ceiling and you can't seem to get past your first 3-4 real estate deals a month, right? You're looking to build the portfolio. Okay, you're looking to get into wholesaling. Maybe you're looking to get into fix and flipping. You're in the right place, guys. You're in the right place today. So I need you to like, I need you to comment, and I need you to subscribe, guys. Share the podcast, guys. We here at the Rob Van Harris Show live, and I got a special guest with me today. Listen, man, he's a good friend of mine. He do all the above, everything we just made mention of. He fix and flip. He tackled the wholesaling game. And not only that, man, when you hear about this man's background and where he come from and how he's a rose that bloomed from concrete, you're going to have so much respect for this man, man. Without further ado, man, I want to get started, guys. Let's get this thing rocking and rolling. I would like to introduce to y'all my friend, my brother, Raqi. Welcome to the podcast, brother.
Appreciate you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate the warm introduction.
Oh, man, listen, man, everything that I just spoke, man, is the truth. I watch your journey, man, and I've watched what you've been able to accomplish. I've watched, I followed your journey and what you out there doing, man. You're real authentic. You're raw and uncut. There's no filters.
Appreciate that, man.
And I love that about you, man. For the people who don't know who you are, is hearing about Raqi for the first time, tell them a little bit about who you are and what you're doing.
Absolutely, yeah. Thank you again for having me here. It's an honor. We've known each other for quite a bit.
That's it, man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This is amazing. I appreciate it. Thank you.
It's a blessing.
That being said, for those that don't know me, Raqi Zidane. It's pronounced Zidane here in America, but across the whole world is Zidane. For those that know soccer very well, I'm not related to him, but I tell people he's my uncle if they cut me a good deal. So Raqi Zidane here. I'm an entrepreneur and a real estate investor here, based in Georgia. I am mainly in Gwinnett County because that's my area, but we go where we create the deal. The deals are never there. There are no deals out there. It's your job to get out there, create the deal, and create the opportunity.
That's it right there, man. So as we talked about, guys, listen, this man has a lot of experience, man. And Raqi is someone that's certified. People in the community know him. People within Atlanta, Georgia know who Raqi is. He's out here making a lot of noise, man. We're going to share his Instagram and all that stuff with y'all, at the end, man. Make sure that it's in the description, man, so y'all can follow his journey, man. But with all that being said, I'm a true believer, and before you can build an empire, you must make sure you have a sturdy foundation, guys. So let's go back, Raqi. Let's talk a little bit about, man, before we get into all the great things you're doing out here in the world of real estate, man. Let's talk about a little bit about where you from, what started you on this journey. Tell them a little bit about you.
It's funny you say before we get into the great things, because nothing in life worth having comes easy. They don't come easy. I am legit from the war zones. I was born in the war zone, Baghdad, Iraq.
Mm-hmm.
I lived through the war zones. Struggle was real, and survived few war zones actually growing up.
Mm.
It's I don't wish it on anybody. It's not a fun. It built who I am for sure. It made me who I am, but that's just a part of it because you could really get brainwashed. You could collapse, fall and collapse and call it a day,
Mm-hmm.
or you could build your mental toughness,
Mm.
callous your brain. Nothing can beat you. Only you can beat you.
You ain't lying,
It's you versus you. I don't care about the guy next to me.
man. Mm-hmm.
It's who do you see in the mirror every single day?
You ain't lying. You
That
ain't lying.
man is your best friend,
Mm-hmm.
yet your biggest enemy.
Mm.
A lot of people say you're not your thought. I call BS on that. I call cap, like this youngest I say.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
call cap.
Cap, cap.
Um,
Uh-huh.
you are your thought. Because the more you tell yourself that you are X and X, you become X and X.
Mm.
You become it. You tell yourself that you're great. You're gonna do great things.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna do it. You
Mm-hmm.
tell yourself you want to do great things. You're always gonna live wanting to do great things.
I'm a true believer in that, man. I always say, man, if you can believe it, you can receive it. If you can believe it, you can receive it, man. I mean, Warzone, man, that's a big topic right there because um I use the phrase war zone. I grew up in North Philadelphia, right? And I've watched a lot of stuff happen, man. A lot of my friends was killed. You know what I mean? I grew up around a lot of violence, man, and a lot of death, drugs, and all the above. And I think that even I was just talking to a friend of mine I just came from Philly
Mm,
this week, and I was talking to a friend of mine, and he was like, "Man, did you know?" I was like, no way. He's like, did you know that you would become the person you are today? And I'm like, what you mean the person I am? I'm Rob. You know what I mean, brother? He like, no, dude, like, you don't understand. Like, you don't only give hope to me, bro, but you gave hope to all of us, man. If you don't never, nobody may not call you every day. You may not get a lot of inboxes, but you gave us hope, bro, what you've been able to accomplish out here, man. So I want to talk about that a little bit with you,
I
man.
love that. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, dude, you say Warzone and correct Iraq?
Yes, sir. Iraq. So I love what you just said because you have a choice.
Mm-hmm.
Anything you do in life, you make your own choice.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to be a victim or a
Mm-hmm.
victor?
Mm.
So let me get this closer so people can hear it clearly.
Mm-hmm.
When you live, everybody has their circumstances growing up,
Mm-hmm.
whether abusive parents, childhood, school, bullies around, or you. At the end of the
Mm.
day, you abuse you mentally and emotionally more than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
But also, the number one reason people just fall, they die in their 20s, they just get buried in their 70s.
Mm.
It's because of your surrounding.
Mm.
You allow your surrounding to tell you who you are, and what you're capable of. That's not who you are, that's not your capacity. God has created you and put you here for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And that reason is for you to discover down the line.
Mm.
Because look, I can give you the answer, or I can show you multiple ways to get the answers. It's up to you. Now, do you want the answer and live the easy life
Mm-hmm.
and then struggle later? Or you
Mm-hmm.
want to struggle right now, trying to find the answers and live a good life? That's all to you.
Mm. That's good.
Iraq, man, it's different
That's
because
good.
it wasn't choices left for people to make to live that life.
Mm-hmm.
You're in a war zone. You grow up as a kid, you put your backpack on, you go to school, you walk. We don't have buses over there.
Mm.
You walk to school just to send you back because the school is under threat of being bombed.
Wow.
And you're a kid now, you're learning all these things. And then, you go through all of that. And then the '03 happened where, I mean, I'm talking about my neighborhood, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was trapped. People think that they experience, you know, not being able to eat. So they eat, what's that, ramen noodles. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I've been
Yeah.
poor.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
didn't have water for ramen noodles.
Yeah.
My brothers and
Mm-hmm.
I,
Mm.
we actually had to go out during the war zones looking for water that's yellow, not brown on a good day.
Mm.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
And during the war zone, I'm talking about like we trapped inside the neighborhood, inside the house. My mama made rice and fried tomatoes when she could, so we could eat good.
Mm.
Rice and fried tomatoes is all we could eat.
Wow.
Imagine living
Wow.
like that. And then all of that is different because dad was chased out of the country by Saddam Hussein militia because it was a disaster then. So people don't know what he did because we didn't have social media to report anything. We didn't have cameras because we were not allowed to have these things. You're not allowed to have TV. You're not allowed to have, if you get TV, you only get three channels and it's what they play,
Mm-hmm.
it's what you see.
Mm. What's some of the things that was going on when you saying it was you wasn't able to report it? What's just quick bring us into your world? Like what's some of the things that was going on?
So before the '03, if you were caught with having a dish, satellite, cable, whatever that can bring you an extra channel that they don't approve of, you're unalive right there and then. They unalive you right there and then, in front of everyone, to make an example out of you, so everyone can see it and live in fear.
Wow.
Fear not only of losing your life, but being taken out of this world and leaving your family behind.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, when dad literally was chased out of the country on foot.
Mm-hmm.
There were 12 of them when they left on foot. They ran into a junkyard right before the border where they had escaped and went to Lebanon. They went to the they were 12. They split in half. They're like, hey, we need some water. We haven't eaten, we haven't drinking in 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
We need something. Dad was like, I'm not stopping anywhere. You don't know who works for who.
Mm-hmm.
And in the wood in Iraq, like there's no like people hiking or like cars or dirt bike, none of that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then those friends, when they went to the junkyard, eventually cars and soldiers come with, well, not soldiers but police technically, but just as soldiers, looking for my dad and his friends that remain in that group that split, calling them by full name, telling them, oh no, we offer you safety, just come back. So they hid, and dad was like, we're not coming out. Not even 15 minutes later, after those police soldiers wannabe left, they heard gunshot. They killed all their friends right there and then. We didn't see that for 5 years, and we're kids in Iraq. It's not like here. What I don't want to say like it's easier here because nobody should live as a single mother or whatnot. But you're in Iraq. You're in 1999 in Iraq, where there's nothing, and you go into a war zone as a woman with 5 kids. That's my mama, man.
Wow, brother. How do you experience stuff like that or come from this war zone that we referring to? How, I mean, you made the transition from there to here. And we kind of talked about that. We ain't got to go. You made the transition. What made you want to, out of all the things you could have done, because now you in the land of opportunity. You're in the United States. You could have become a doctor, a lawyer. You could have become an architect. What made you want to dive into this crazy game that we all refer to as real estate?
It's a funny story. I'll tell you one thing about me is everybody says, oh, I work hard. I'm not going to tell you I work hard. I'm going to tell you that if you get the treadmill next to me and you want to beat me, you're not going to beat me. I'm going to have to die before I get off.
Yeah.
That's a treadmill I'm in life. I face whatever it is, whatever that comes my way, with open arms. Like, come on, teach me more. What do you got for me? What are you going to throw at me? I mean, your worst day is behind you because you survived. There's nothing this war can throw at me that gonna break me, because it threw everything it could at me and I survived. I'm here. So when we moved here in 09, I had just turned 18, but we never went to school back home. So they put me in a school and they said, you're going to school. I was in ninth grade. I had no idea what that meant. Ninth grade. I didn't speak a word of English. I was like, okay,
I'm sorry. So you got put into ninth grade, but you were 18 when you got
Yes. 18 years old, ninth grade. I didn't speak a word of English. And I was like, I don't want to do it. I want to work because it's all I knew. I know how to work. So my mom, may she rest in peace, said, look, if you lost X amount of years, don't lose it all. Go. If you don't like it, just leave. You're 18. You get to make that choice in here. I say, well, mama, I'm going to do it just for you. So I went, and the first day, I got laughed at. because I don't speak English.
Mm-hmm.
The teacher was asking me, I don't know what she was saying,
Mm.
but she was saying stuff, and then eventually she said the word Arabic, and that's all I knew in English.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like,
Yeah. You put.
so there's a guy in the front, turn around, named Abraham,
Mm-hmm.
and he told me that, hey, she's asking you for a paper in Arabic, because
Okay.
he was Arab.
Okay.
I took the paper and she smiled, yay, like I won the lottery. It's like, woohoo! I put it down. What next?
Yeah.
So they put me in international school to learn English, of course, half of the day, maybe three quarter of the day,
Mm-hmm.
and then they bring me back to Tucker High School to attend one last class, which
Mm-hmm.
was math, which really is numbers, nothing
Mm.
too crazy. And then that when people were like, oh, I don't speak English, and everybody laughed. That's when I started learning what they were saying.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, wait a second. Now I look around, and I don't know the age difference in school in here, because I actually didn't go to school back home. Like there's years we missed school, and I was like, I looked around, and everybody's just kids for me.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in a barber shop, man. I was a barber at a really young age. In a barber shop, you hear it all.
Yeah. Yeah.
You hear it all. You meet the good, the bad, the feeling, the kind. You meet them all. So I was like, nah, these kids ain't gonna laugh at me.
Yeah.
So started learning English, dive deep more into it. That's not just the reason. The other reason was like we came here with my parents and my siblings, and we didn't speak English.
Mm-hmm.
We literally made it out of the airport because my mom remembered some of the English classes she took 22 years ago.
Mm.
So I was like, nah, my family ain't gonna need help. I'm gonna be the one that translate.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I learned, and I started working, like not probably like 6 7 months maybe after
Mm-hmm.
we came here,
Mm-hmm.
school and stuff like this. I started working. At some point, I was doing schooling. I get up at 7 in the morning, get to school by a little bit before 8. I went to school, then I played soccer.
Mm-hmm.
After I played soccer, I went to work around like 6:30.
Mm-hmm.
I would get off work at like 3:30 in the morning, come home, shower, sleep 2 3 hours, wake up, go to school. That was my high school.
Mm-hmm.
And then, long story short, I was able to finish high school, moved on, went to college. I was like, yay, this is it, college. Look, I was like, you know what? I did this and I didn't speak English. I can't do college.
Mm-hmm.
I got into college, and then I got into a car accident,
Okay.
end of 2012 or 2013, and put me out of school.
Put you out of school.
3 years, 4 years. My head hurts like crazy.
Mm.
So, long story short, going back, I was like, okay, you know what? What am I doing with this? I went back to school after 3 years. I couldn't do it. My head would hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, I'm out. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna focus on working. Then I come across a friend of mine actually mentioned AIM, Institute Maintenance of Institute of Aviation of Maintenance, next to Costco here in Duluth. It's an aviation school
Mm-hmm.
to become maintenance technician.
Okay.
I was like, interesting. So at that time, I was working at the bakery, and a friend of ours, he's like more like a brother. His name is Abbas. This guy said to me, look, this person is doing maintenance, and I know he's not smarter than you.
Wow.
You don't want to stay in production management because you're gonna get stuck here. Plus, your brother is a maintenance production supervisor, so it's gonna be very difficult for both of you to exceed here together because you're family members.
Mm-hmm.
How about you give this a try? If you don't like it, come back, because he was the manager,
Mm-hmm.
production. I took his advice into maintenance, started learning maintenance. Literally, I kid you not, my leader said to me this on my first day in the maintenance department. He said, look, you're too smart, you're too dangerous. We're not going to teach you anything because we are afraid you take our jobs.
Wow.
I said, thank you for being honest. I got this.
Wow.
What is it? How hard could it be?
Yeah.
I literally learned maintenance from YouTube. And then it's not just was watching YouTube. I watch YouTube, I watch 15 minutes, and I go actually work on scrap metal.
Come on.
I consume and I implement.
Come on.
Then went to that school,
Mm-hmm.
met amazing people. One of my best friends actually flew all the way to Thailand for his wedding.
Mm-hmm.
So I met him in that school. So the greatest investment I ever made was I paid for that tuition.
Mm.
I got my license, started doing some contractor jobs. I even worked in the C-130s, the fighters for the Air Force Base in Marietta.
Mm-hmm.
I even went there with the help of a Lebanese guy
Mm-hmm.
that got me introduced to the people in there. I did a lot of stuff while I was working as a maintenance technician full time.
Wow.
And then real estate. How did I get into real estate?
I'm just gonna say,
Here you go.
How you go from, because
Here
we
you
went
go.
from Iraq to maintenance. I'm like, how you go from striving to throbbing to like that's a testament right there, brother. You bringing me into your world. I'm like wow.
Check this out.
Even the audience, they like wow.
Check this out. I get a full-time job offer from Boeing Airline, North Charleston.
Mm.
I was making $20 an hour as a maintenance technician
Mm-hmm.
at King's Hawaiian up here in Flower Branch. And look, I'm not saying I'm the best maintenance technician,
Mm-hmm.
but I'll be damned if you give me something and I don't do it.
Wow.
So I was like, okay, cool. I had worked in there like for like 4 months, only 4 months
Mm-hmm.
at King's Hawaiian, and I got that job offer. They're like, hey, you're gonna make $26 an hour. It's no brainer.
Mm-hmm.
That's $6.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna exercise my license, which I was, but not a full time,
Mm-hmm.
because I was doing the full time as King's Hawaiian, but a lot of contracts in the job
Mm-hmm.
on the side. And so I accept the job because
Mhm.
I'm only here at King's Hawaiian for 4 months. I was like, look, I mean,
Yeah.
I went to my manager. I said, look, thank you so much, really, for giving me the opportunity to work here. I know I have been here only for 4 months. I will
Mhm.
never forget, word for word. I said, I know
Was
I've been
26 the most money you ever made?
well, $20 at that time at King's Hawaiian before I accepted Born Airline, and yes, that was $26. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I was like, I literally said, thank you for allowing me to work here. It's been only 4 months, but look, that's $26 an hour.
Yeah.
That's more money on the table that I'm building for my family.
Yeah.
You know, because
Mhm.
look, I appreciate your table, but I want to build mine. I don't want to eat yours all the time.
Okay.
So they were cool with it. I
Mhm.
was like, oh, thanks God. I get called to the office the next day,
Mhm.
and I was like, oh no, they're gonna let me go because it happened to me in my previous job. 7, 8 years at that job, I give my 2 weeks notice. They let me go the same
They gonna
day.
let you go the same day. They're like,
So
you ain't
I
gotta
was
wait 2
like,
weeks.
oh man, damn. I was like, well, I got 2 weeks, so enough for me to go back and forth, prepare a place. So I've already called an apartment, had a place, put a security deposit and everything. They called me to the office, and of course he gave me my flowers. Like, hey, 4 months, but you've shown us enough to
Mhm.
see your potential. And he literally pushed the paper in front of me. And I flipped the paper. They give me $27 an hour. They gave me $7 raise overnight. I was like, oh no.
They recognize talent. They
I
want
was
to
like,
beat out their competition.
no.
They said we can't lose this
Exactly.
talent. Yeah.
So, and I don't care if I have to go to North Charleston or I have to go to Europe or I have to go back to Iraq to work. I'll do it. That doesn't scare me.
It was about your family. You taking care of your family.
My family,
Making sure-
my parents, my
Yeah.
siblings here, and
Mhm.
it's no brainer here
Mhm.
and here. It was a yes. But
Yeah.
I don't want to sound greedy.
Mhm.
Like, hey, let me get that now to think about it.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's no
Yeah, you
brainer.
hear
I
about
just sat with my
thirsty.
family. I looked at them. I
Mhm.
was like, I didn't even tell them like, what do y'all think? I said,
Mhm.
I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna stay here. Because I had my kids, I want all my kids to grow up around my parents. That's what I want. It's a family bond. Look, there's nothing in life can beat a family bond. Nothing in
You ain't
life.
lying.
Whatever it is. So God gave me a hint to take it
Mhm.
for my family,
Mhm.
just for COVID to happen.
Mhm.
Shut down Boeing Airline in North Charleston.
Mhm.
Completely shut down, laid off everybody.
So you got the 27 now in your pocket now.
That my
You
manager was like, I bet you're happy now.
Yeah, you like, look, I'm about to go to this new level.
But I wasn't happy, Rob,
Mm.
because had I taken that job
Mhm.
and I would have been laid off, I had to come home with my tail tucked and I tell my family, Daddy ain't got a job. No, man. That's not a Warzone survivor.
Yeah.
That's not a warrior, man. Ain't it? So I was like,
How many kids do you have, right?
two
kids?
babies, 2 baby girls. I was like, nuh-uh. I
That's
couldn't
beautiful.
sleep that night.
Mhm.
After I heard that the airline shut down, I couldn't sleep. I literally typed this in Google. I will never forget. How to get rich. How do you do one thing one time and get rich forever? Something like that.
Mhm.
Literally, just a lot. Blah blah blah. Stock market. I've been trading stock market, but in the low, like I'm not too heavy invested. And then the third one was real estate. And I promise you, Rob,
Mhm.
I had no idea what the word meant.
Mm.
Real estate. What is real estate? I click on it, and then of course start reading, and I went to my favorite university, YouTube.
Mhm.
People can really abuse YouTube, or you can make it the best thing that ever happened to your life.
Yes.
I literally went in there and I watched Jerry Norton.
Mhm.
He spun the wheel, he landed on a city, picked up the phone, put his filter, call an agent, hang up after he got the property, call another property, sold the deal. Within 30 minutes, I'm like, wait a second. And y'all watching, y'all can see I can talk.
Yeah.
Y'all can see I can talk. I worked in a barber shop.
Yeah.
And I
But
was
no,
like,
that's good. But no, but here is the good thing about what you're talking about. And guys, I need y'all to share, like, comment, man. This is important because a lot of what he touched on just now is mindset. Mindset. He went from surviving to thriving, guys, and he gave y'all the backstory. Now he's leading up, as I asked him the question, what led him to real estate? But he took us through a journey, because a lot of us right now are going through a journey. And like, somebody left a comment like, there's no excuses. What he just now touched on, there's no excuses, right? So if this man can make it from Middle East, and I know his story. He told me, man, stepping over dead bodies, the whole nine, man, watching people get sliced up, the whole nine, as a child, right? No English. Had to learn how to speak English at 18. He learned about, he said, went to YouTube. He found Jerry Norton. That's my guy. Jerry Norton is a very good person, guy, very good resource. My son was sitting here a couple weeks back. He said that he recommends Jerry Norton as well. Good dude. And he watched YouTube. What is your excuse, guys?
you're watching this live right now.
What is your excuse? You're in America, you're watching the Rob Van Harris show. We giving you gems week after week. We bringing you on amazing people like him. And all we're doing, guess what? We're not getting paid for this or nothing, guys. We just literally, I always say, help me to help you. We really genuinely, no ulterior motives, just want to help. Right. So I need y'all to leave your comments for Raqi. I need y'all to leave your comments for me so we can answer y'all questions and make sure that we get y'all to answer to these questions, man. But listen, what he just now touched on was bigger than just how he got into the real estate game, how he's making all this money now doing real estate. He's talking about life. This is life talk, guys. And that's why I say it's not about just helping you to thrive in real estate. It's about helping you to thrive in life. Continue
I'm into
on,
that,
man.
brother. I'm into that. That when I was like, I picked up on one of the most amazing thing ever, using your vocal to make money.
Mm-hmm.
You're not saying you go on stage and speak and whatnot.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, so all I have to do is talk to people and make money.
Talk to people. That's
I
the
was
name
like,
of the
okay.
game.
So Eric Thomas said it best, better than anybody. TTP, talk to people.
Yeah.
If TTP don't work, TTMP, talk to more people.
I love that. I love that.
Dr. Eric Thomas ain't disappointed, man. I'll tell you that. And then like when I say I started drilling down and learning.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing, guys. Remember when I said when I got into maintenance, I watched YouTube and then I paused. I would get up and use scrap metal to weld the drill and do all these things. What I was doing is I was consuming, but I was implementing at the same time.
Woo.
You want to consume this much and implement that much, because this will teach you a lot more than this much of consuming.
What I watch it so much, guys. I refer to it as analysis paralysis. Analysis paralysis. Now, he told you, YouTube, you're watching a YouTube thing. You're watching Rob, right? You're watching Raqi. You're watching the Jerry Nortons, but you're not taking no action. You're watching, you're consuming all this information, but you're not taking any action. Guys, here on this very podcast, we give you step-by-step instructions as to how you can go out here and get your first deal.
That's right.
I'm talking about from A through Z. I told one of my friends, called me up, a good friend of mine. He called me up. He said, man, listen, man, I want you to, bro, you killing it. You killing it. I need to know how to get into this industry, man. Teach me the game. I said, bro, guess what? You want to learn? I said, go to my YouTube channel, go to the podcast playlist, and binge watch. He called me 2 days later. No, I'm sorry. He texted me 2 days later. He said, bro, thank you. I don't even remember what he told me. I'm like, thank you for what? He said, bro, the YouTube, bro, those YouTubes, those videos, those episodes gave me so much answer, so many of my questions that right now I don't even have any more questions for you because you answered them all right through the podcast. So what I'm telling you is what he's talking about is that a lot of people are faced with analysis paralysis and it paralyzes you from taking action. And that's the very thing that you're going to need to do, even if you're taking imperfect action to get to step one. Then step one is just like with anything, guys. You got to crawl before you walk, and you have to walk before you sprint.
I'm into that.
Right. Let's talk about this. So you started watching YouTube. You was welding.
That's it.
And you were still taking action. Mm-hmm. What did that action look like for you?
So what happened was this. A lot of people, first thing they do is when they working in W2, whether it's good or bad,
Mhm.
and they learn something new, shiny objects, they immediately quit what they're doing and jump into it.
Oh yeah, that's bad.
Biggest mistake somebody can make. I understand if you got nothing else to worry about, if you're living with your parents, if you're young, cool, perfect.
Mhm.
You ain't got bills to worry about, cool,
Mhm.
perfect. Because
I'm gonna quit my job,
because
Rob.
yeah,
Rocky,
because
what you think?
your parents making your life a whole lot easier. Go do something better with what you got
Mhm.
and pay them back.
Oh.
Don't be a knucklehead. If you got a time right now to go and tell your parents thank you, do it, because you're gonna miss out. That being said, I learn real estate. I pick up the phone. I talk to people, but I got a family to support. I got bills.
Real
I got
quick,
a house.
what you mean pick up the phone? Were you calling from your cell phone? Were you
Calling
calling from
from
a
the
dialer?
this is
Right
your
from your cell phone.
that's my best friend. I made so much money using this. No fancy BS, no fancy software, no platforms. Zillow and my cell phone.
So Zillow, okay. So walk us through that real quick before you was going to Zillow, right? And how was you finding the people you was going?
I would legit go to the filter and
Mhm.
scroll all the way down and put the word invest. Only invest, not investment deals, none of that.
Mhm.
Why? Because some agents would write in their description investor friendly or investment opportunity. Now, if you put investor or invest in, you're gonna miss out on any deal that has the word investor friendly or investor opportunity, and you're gonna miss on anything that says investment opportunity. So you just want to put the word invest, and anything that comes after the word invest will be populated in that want list that you're looking for, and then you'll look, of course, for listed. And I don't worry about the filter and all that. Just go to the little sort on, I think, top right on Zillow. Click on it and click low or lowest to highest in the price.
Oh,
What is that going to tell you?
Yeah.
That's automatically going to give you the beat up houses.
Yeah.
Now, it's your job to do what again? Remember in the very beginning, I said you create the deal. But how do you do that? You've got to understand your market. You can't be a knucklehead on the phone. You have to, if you're having opportunity. I have people all the time call me like, "Hey, can I shadow you? I'll pay you." I was like, "Nah, you come shadow me, shut your mouth, learn, and go put it to work, feed your family. Don't pay me. I pay me.
Oh, you gonna have these people blowing you up?
I pay me. I pay me. Come shadow me. As long as you learn, as long as you have a good energy and you're a positive guy and no, you're not a complainer, come shadow me all the time. Anytime I walk properties. So what I do is I call this.
And he's really out here in these streets too.
I am.
He's really out
I
here.
literally was in the house right before I got here.
No, he's really out here.
I call these agents and I just talk about the deal a little bit.
So you were okay, because I know a lot of times us as investors sometimes, and that's why I'm pausing a little bit, because you dropping so many gems, man, and they can miss it. So quick recap: you use your cell phone,
Yes,
not a dialer, not Mojo, not
Nope.
smartphone, not any of these platforms. You use your cell phone. You went to Zillow, you typed in invest, and a bunch of agents popped up, and you started calling those agents.
A bunch of houses in the description. There's a word invest in it.
Oh, got you.
A lot of it is
Okay.
says investment opportunity, and the house is already beat up, so it tells you that it's ready to be fixed up.
So you found the house, and then you called the number.
I call the number of the listing agent. If the number is not there, what do? You copy the license number or the name of the agent. You put in Google, just hit enter next to MLS, hit enter. You got their direct cell phone number. You can text them a selfie.
That's so true.
That's
so true.
And then you pick up the phone and you talk to them. It's like, hey, how can I help you? What do you got here?
Good. That's good. That's good.
What do you got?
So somebody that's right now listening right now, man. That's my guy, Raqi. Yeah, man.
That's my sis. Yeah, we miss you.
Can we hear your craziest story while living in the war zone? Your craziest stories from Zach.
My craziest story. Ooh, okay. I'll tell you this. This is my craziest story ever. It's gonna get in depth. We talked about it a little bit, I think, earlier. But so growing up, they wanted to make sure you live in fear all the time, because when you're afraid, you're easily controlled. This is happening today, especially here with us in where we live. They give you everything they want, and they make you afraid that they'll take it away. That's how timeout, or like, I'm gonna take your cell phone or take your privileges work. They make you live in a fear that you're gonna lose your cell phone, so you have to be not disciplined, but obedient. I'm gonna obey the rules because I'm instructed. I'm gonna lose my job if I don't come back from break on time. You're afraid of losing something and instead of you're disciplined enough to show up on time. Crazy story was this: friend of ours was cut. Well, neighbor was cut having a satellite dish and on his roof, and somebody snitched because you don't know who worked for who. That during Saddam Hussein era, they um, they hung that guy on the electrical pole outside the neighborhood, and of course they unalive him immediately, but they left him there for a week, hung, to make sure that he's being made an example of to everybody.
Wow.
So that way you're afraid to even ask for the truth. And you are living in a bubble and you don't want the bubble to pop because you might lose either yourself or everybody else in your family.
My God, bro. How old were you when you witnessed
Oh,
that?
at 9, 10.
That's crazy, man.
Another one when I was
That's crazy,
12.
man.
Somebody disappeared and his brother was so broken, and he was he walked out just broken in tears. He was just screaming and shouting at the government, the current government at that time. They caught him. Of course, people show up because you don't know who works for Saddam Hussein at that time. You don't know who works for who. The next day they called us all outside. They set him down on his knees. They pull his tongue with a plier and they cut it with a dice
My God.
in front of everybody, women, old, elder people, kids. Here's the example: if you open your mouth. But here's a problem, Rob. I appreciate you asking that question. Here's a problem, Rob. We live in a world right now where we have all of this. We can literally, with a couple click,
That part.
we go live and we can say whatever we want, however, to whomever, but yet so damn privileged to take actions to do things. We have water to just drink. We use the restroom and we flush with clean water, a water that I didn't have to drink when I was growing up. I had yellow or brown water. Now we flush a toilet with the clear water and we just sit here and complain about how tough life is. What you know about toughness? What you know about growing up with no electricity and no water and no food to eat?
That part, bro. That part. I was literally talking to my one of my sons, and I was like, on my IG, I have on the very first post, it's a video of my children, and basically I surprised them, and it's a letter inside the closet, and that letter reads, "Welcome home, kids." And when my youngest, he read, it was Rob, matter of fact, it was my second youngest, he's like, "Welcome home, kids." And then his brothers and them started like, what's that? Let me see that. Welcome home. I said, "Welcome home, kids." Everybody just go crazy, right? And every time, I mean, like literally, bro, it brings tears to my eyes. People don't understand that we just got out of a situation not too far before that we were living in a hotel room, right? Then from there, we was living in a house to where the electrical and stuff, it had a bunch of hazards. As soon as we left, it ended up burning down, right? I say that to say that during those times, me living in a hotel room, me living in that house with hazards all around the house, it still wasn't my darkest storms, man. I remember literally having to wash up with water, like you talked about, and your stuff is way deeper than mine. But we had to boil water. We literally we had water, running water. Thank God you didn't even have running water, and we used to had to boil it from the stove because we didn't have any gas. So to fill up the bathtub, you know what I mean, we would have to fill up the bathtub with water just to get warm water, right? But I'm saying it to say, like, man, we're people like you are so grateful for everything in the position. Every closing, like you say, I'm still out there in the field. I'm still going to my appointments. I still go to my closings. I have a whole team, and you still see me at closings because when I go to my closings, it's a reminder for me as to how much God has done for me, bro. Going from North Philadelphia, I didn't know I was poor at the time, you know what I mean? But we had, you know what I mean? It was rough, you know what I mean? And going from that, building something up in Philly, I built something up. I had a contracting business. I had something going. I lost everything, came here, lost everything, ended up in a hotel room. Now, this is from somebody that built something, lost it. Now it's like, can you imagine how how I felt that as a man. I'm like, dang, it's not even me anymore. I'm the man, like you talked about
That's
earlier.
right.
My kids is dependent on me.
That's right.
These 4 boys and my wife is dependent on me.
That's right.
So let's talk about that, because somebody right now, Rock touched on that story, and I touched on my story, because I just always want to, you got to reflect, right? You got to reflect. And you're here today. You're listening to this podcast right now. Man, God didn't bring you this far to leave you now.
Nope.
But you got to understand that you got to take those trials and tribulations to turn your worst moments of your life and those dark spots, turn them into messages, guys. Turn them into, you know what I mean, sharing your story, sharing your testimony with people. But here's the thing. You got to go out here and accomplish the thing that you were set to accomplish, that God installed in you to accomplish. What are you doing with your gifts? What are you doing with your time? Rod just now told you. Like, man, I'm watching people get sliced up, their tongues chopped up, hung from poles and left for a week. That's why when I'm putting it together and understanding, seeing how he operate, and now I'm able to connect the dots. Now, when he talk about Warzone, we both come from different war zones. And if you see how we move today, we're so grateful for everything, especially the position that we are today. What is the thing, man? Because again, guys, like, share, comment, guys, because this is a deep, this is deep. It's going to get deeper as we continue to go on. This is deep, man. What are some of the biggest challenges you faced, man? You know what I mean? Dealing with 2 men, both from bad situations, are still making it, man. This is the testimony. Yeah, that's right, Zach. Yeah, I mean, trials and tribulations, man. Two different men from two opposite sides of the world, but we both came from war zones. You know what I mean? I got some crazy stories. We ain't gonna talk about that now, because this is about, you know what I mean, Rock sharing his experiences with you guys.
But look, I appreciate that. Thank you for putting me here and giving me the stage as it's mine. But let me tell you what, exactly what Zach said. Look what we're sitting. Here's the thing. You and I are having this conversation, and people are watching. The most important part is this: you don't know who's watching.
That part right there, bro.
Because what if someone somewhere, maybe not today, maybe 2 weeks from now, Zach has a friend who's friend like at the edge, and Zach will like, you know what? Look, before you take your life, before you do anything stupid, go watch this podcast with these 2 guys that came from absolutely nothing from the war zone. Because at the end of the day, we don't know who's watching. We don't know who we impacted. And this is not just my story. My story is being told right now because of this man. Because he took it up himself not to be with his family right now, to sit over here and allow me to tell you what I went through and how I used that to become a victor, not a victim, so you can learn from it. Because this man took time out of his day to do this. So I know I appreciate you, brother. This is not just about me. You put this, and people are watching. Like, we got Edgar over here, one of our good friends.
Yeah, that's my brother.
I tell you what, you don't know at the end of the day who's gonna be watching this, and we might be the reason why we saved somebody's life who goes on in life, do better for themselves, grow, get married, have kids, and now you and I, Rob, is a part of that family tree.
That part right
That family tree that God put here, not us. But he put us here to be seeds.
Brother, you just summarized what this podcast is built on.
That's it.
This is what it's about, because people just want to hear about the money, the bag. No, tell me how you got at the bag. But I'm like, brother, young man, young sister, I can teach you to get at the bag. But if you ain't got your mind right first, if you don't understand what comes with having the bag, because if you broke now with a bunch of problems, when you become rich, you're going to have just as much problems, but your character going to get you in a deeper hole than what you was in before you got the bag.
That's right.
That's what people don't even understand. I have just as many problems as I had, more problems than I had now that I'm where I'm at. I have more problems, guys.
That's right. You are who you are, and you're gonna be who you are with more money if the money is what you want. You're gonna make money, but what you're gonna do with it when this is messed up? Exactly what you said.
It's gonna amplify.
You're gonna put yourself in deeper, and you're gonna dig yourself in a deeper hole, because you don't even know how to get out of a small one. Now you got more money, and you're just digging yourself into a bigger one, and that's a problem. That's why, don't get me wrong, money is good, because like a lot of people say money don't buy happiness. I hate that. I'm not saying that it buys happiness, but if I want to build a shelter, if I want to build a school and go to go to East Point and take these kids and put them in school for free, what do I need to do that? I need money. But again, if you ain't got the dog on you, first of all, if you ain't got this right, you're gonna have it all wrong when you have money. You actually better off being poor than being rich.
You hit. I said something along those lines. I say you touched on that because people don't understand. People say money don't buy happiness, but money can be a defense, guys. Understand that, like, money. Yes, I understand that where the analogy came from, but for instance, like I was just talking about this, like I can pick up right now because my son, prime example, my son hurt himself. He plays football. He's in college. He hurt himself, right? He said, "Pop, I need you to be here. I gotta get a surgery." It was supposed to be this week, right? He calls me up on maybe, I think it was Monday of last week. He called me up on Monday. "Pop, they moved my surgery date up. I'm going in on Tuesday." No, I said, "I'm going in on Wednesday." He called me in on a Monday. Said, "I'm going in on Wednesday." "You going in on Wednesday? What, for surgery?" "Yeah." I'm like, "Wait a minute. So you need me to be there tomorrow?" "Yeah." Now hear me. I have trauma. I don't, when I fly, and this ain't no flex. When I fly, I'm flying first class every time. I have trauma. I had experience that happened with the middle seat. I don't do the middle seat. I like flying first class. That's just me. No flex. All right, so wait a minute. I gotta do the dummy thing. I'm gonna get the dummy prices. And you already know, you book a flight the day of or the day before, you already know it's gonna be 3 times, 10 times as much, right? But money being a defense allowed me to do stuff like that. Money allowed me to get to my son and be there by his side at one of the most troubling times of his life.
That's right.
Money allowed me to be able to be in a position, guys, to where you can get that first class flight and pay the dummy prices the day of or the day for. Money does that. So get all that. Money don't buy happiness. No, but money do is a defense, and it can put you in a position to be able to be a blessing to others, for sure.
People who ain't got to say that.
You ain't lying. What's the girl saying? What's the girl? I think her name was Ariana Grande. I think her name is like, whoever said money don't buy happiness just must didn't have enough of it. I'm telling you, man, proud of you, little bro. I watched to witness you and my little sister progress. I'll be there soon. Real talk. Okay, that must be. How does the deal with the memories of the past trauma? How does he deal with the memories of past trauma? That's you and you, right?
Look, you go through this, probably this because you went through your own war zone.
Mm-hmm.
You never get rid of the nightmares. You never get you see them, and I'm alert. I go in a restaurant, like let's just say I'm dating, and it's my first date, and I really want this lady to like me, and then we go there and they put me in a seat, and like there's a chair and there's a booth. Bet my ass she's sitting on the chair and I'm sitting in the booth because I know way in hell I'm putting my back to the door.
Oh, come on, Rock.
Ain't no, because I'm alert 24/7 and I got to see everything that's going on and everything that's around, because that's how I analyze life in general. Because it's not like, I'm traumatized where I don't trust nobody. No, that's not the case. It's not the case. I've survived it all. I can survive a couple more, dates and whatnot. But it's not. I'm not traumatized by that, but I'm alert. So what the Warzone did to me made me alert all the time. Like I promise you, I'm coming to just say she's already beat me because I didn't pick her up, and I'm coming. She's sitting in the booth. I'm like, baby girl, I'm gonna need that chair. That seat is mine.
Yeah.
As a man, I'm not putting my back to that. But again, how do I deal with it? That's just one example.
Yeah.
Second example, I'll be honest with you. I mean, you and I and Sister Cat experienced that. Look, my comfort zone was my mom. I don't think anybody heard me say I'm tired before, because you don't get tired. When you're a man and you're a father, you don't get tired. You're not supposed to get tired. You're not supposed to get. I don't care what anybody has to say. Oh, you have to take care of yourself. Yeah, by taking care of them, I'm taking care of myself. I brought them to this world. I made the decision to have kids. They're mine. I'm gonna do everything I can for them. My comfort zone was my mom. I used to go to my mama. I just sit next to her. That's it.
Mm.
I don't say nothing. That was it. That's how I dealt with everything. So, and I know you and Sister Cat went through the same thing not too long ago, but for me, it's now it's I go to the graveyard a lot.
Mm.
I pray every Friday, and I'm always there. Anytime I'm driving, I stop by. Sometimes I don't even say anything. I don't update nobody like what I'm at. I go there and sit, talk to my mom. That's it. That's how I deal with everything. Because that's the unconditional love. A mother's love
Mm.
is your first love as a man.
Yeah, bro.
Is your first love.
Seriously.
And it's so unconditional. Whatever you do, your mama will always love you. So for me, she was it. She still is it. So I go to the graveyard a lot and I talk to her and just let it all out, That's it.
Got it. What other outlets? And your mom is now gone, correct? She's gone because I don't know if you may mention that, just so the audience is tuned in. Mom's no longer here. That was your safe spot. That was the person you would go to, and that's how you dealt with past trauma. With mom being gone now, how, outside of going to the graveyard, what other outlets now do you have to go to kind of that place of rest?
That's she's my biggest loss. That's my attachment to Earth.
Mm. Yeah, bro.
It's mom.
Yeah.
I love my kids, I hug my kids all the time. They run into me because I'm there. That's the most important part is you gotta be present when you can.
Yeah.
And I understand, like, for the people that heard my story and whatnot, even when I got into real estate, I was working 55 hours as a maintenance technician. When COVID happened, I didn't go into the airlines full time. I leave house at 5 o'clock actually because traffic. I drive from Lawrenceville to Johns Creek, so it's about good 45. I get to work. I work from 6 to 6:30 in the morning. Get off, get home at 7:10, kiss the kids, but right before they go to school. I sleep 2-3 hours, and then I wake up and do real estate full time. So there's a lot of sacrifices we have to make. But my kids, when I come home now and they run into me, it's like you forget everything.
How many rewind? How long was you going to work for?
3 years. Actually,
No, how
no.
many hours before you went and did the real estate after work?
So I worked. I left the house at 5
o'clock.
5. I came home at 7:10 in the morning.
7:10 in the morning.
So 14 hours.
14 hours, and then you would go you would sleep for a little bit. I'm taking it, and so
2-3 hours max.
3 hours, and then you would go basically to your second job, which was
Real
making
estate.
phone calls with real estate.
Real estate full time. Real estate full time, and then not to shift away from what that question is, I gotta stay busy because without mom it's really difficult. Like I got pops, man. My dad is a soldier. If I grew up and become half of the man he is, I won. I won as a man and as a father. Wow. That's my dad.
Wow.
But man, my mama, bro.
Yeah, you only get one mama. Bro, I can't really. I'm telling you, bro. You already know. I can't even stay there, man. You gonna have me on this junk, bro.
I know.
You gonna have me tearing up, man.
But yeah, man, that's
thank you for sharing that.
Of course, man. That's how I got through it.
Because as men, it's not good for men to be alone. It's not good for us to be alone. And I thank God every day, man, for God sending my wife. God first being God in my life, and God sending my wife, man. Because, bro, I lost my mom too, which I'm sure you know about that. And then 6 months later, my wife lost her mom. And that place you talk about of emptiness and just being broken, man. I went through so much, man, growing up. You know what I mean? And I'm like, yo, I would go through any of name the biggest, baddest. I would go through any of that, man. Versus having to face that pain right there, man. Yeah. That right there, bro, was like a bullet through my heart. And the people, both my moms, they was my moms. You only get one. You talked about, bro, when you lose, you know what I mean? People like that, your mentor, your coach, your cheerleader, all in one. That's right. All in one.
All in one.
does something to you. You know what I mean? And it's people that's faced with that. And I even asked the question, like, I don't have the answer to that. Like, how do you win? That's because it's not about that I'm living with the pain every day, but it's like it comes at the darnest times. Like, you could be driving
and then it hits you, man.
and it hits you, bro.
100% right, man.
You
It
ain't hear
hits you out
a
of nowhere.
tone or something, and it's just like where did that? It
You
just
hit-
hit you.
I'm wearing a verse right here. That's my mom's favorite verse. She used to read it all the time. It's from the Quran. I wear it on my wrist. Yeah, it's in Arabic.
Okay.
She used to read that all the time because it comes and goes, man. And it hits you when you least expect it. So that's why, like, for us, like, it's easy to stay busy with real estate too. But when we stay busy, it's really we stay busy, but then gets you. And when it gets you, man, because look, for anybody who's listening, if you still have your mom, go tell her that you love her, really, because you don't know when it'll be it. So I understand a lot of people don't grow up. Like, I'm so against. There's tradition here we have in America where, like, oh, my son is 18, he's out of my pocket. What you mean? What do you mean he's out of your pocket?
Yeah.
You brought that kid into this life. Did you set him up to success? Even though that's your baby. I don't care if my daughter turns 50, she's still gonna be my baby.
My oldest is 22, bro. And me and him, that's one of my, like, that's my baby. I call them my baby boys to this day.
100%, because that's the family bond that's missing from a lot of families, which is why, sadly, like, when I look around, people's like, oh, 2 kids, yeah, we're done. Man, I want 10 kids. But here's the thing. For that's listening. Your mom is like you said, your mom is everything. That's your attachment to her. That's your first and last love. True love. Because whatever you do or did, mom never left. When mom's sick, mom woke up. Mom cooked. Mom cleaned.
Right.
Man, tell you what, Thanksgiving table. When I say you got table 3 sides, this one filled with all kind of food, my mom cooked that every night. Here, when we came here and we actually got a chance to have a better life than the life we had in the Middle East, even though my mom did everything she could over there with that. But here, when we all actually working and getting paid properly and nobody's been taken advantage of, mom cooked 3 times, 3 different meals every single day.
That's it, man.
And mom never said an 8 until everybody sat down and got the plate full. But also, dad, a father, that's the only man, that's for your sons, the only man that would want you to do better than him.
Come on.
I don't care about your mentor. I don't care about your coach. I don't care about your best friend. Who, look, your dad is the only man alive that wants you to do better than him.
Come on, man.
That's it.
I tell people, like, we got to bring that back into the household, guys. I sat down. My nephew was in town, and my wife, she just disappeared from the office, right? And I had got home, and I got a gym in my garage, so I'm in there working out, and I'm just smelling the aroma. You know what I mean? Just cooking up, and I know she was in there cooking. But when I went in there, man, she had the mac and cheese, the baked chicken, the collard greens, all that. And I'm like, yo, where all this come from? It ain't Thanksgiving. But my wife, she got that big mama syndrome. She got that big mama thing going on where she's like, yo, everybody gonna come to the table, we're gonna eat and we're gonna do what we do. Like, we need to get that back into the household, guys, because what happens is this, man. Like, and dads and moms, hear me clearly. That's where you find out what's going on with your kids. How was their day? What they getting into? That's when you're able to look them in their eyes. You know what I mean? Find out what's going on with them. That's when they're able to open up and let their hair down after a long day. That's when you're able to open up and let your hair down and after a long day. And y'all able to just be genuinely open and present with each other. All phones away. Can we bring that back? Can we bring the big mama days back where we sitting down with the dads and the moms? Like, listen, guys, we can always make money. Hear me clearly. We can always make money. We can't get the time back, guys.
Never get the time back.
Me and Rock, our time passed. I'm behind with our moms. Let's go. We can't get that time back. I give it all. Nope. I'm pretty sure Rock would empty out his bank account, give his house, the cars, everything to get just one day back with his mom.
1 minute. I would do it for 10 seconds.
You know what I mean? I'll give it all away, man. Like, we got to be, guys, listen. And I know They're like, a lot of people here, they like, what? Wait, we're supposed to be a real estate show. I keep telling y'all, it's not just about real estate. Like this right here is life talk.
But this is what prepares you for real estate. Real estate will beat you down to your knee. You think real estate is easy? Good luck being in the phone, get cussing out and people hanging out. Real estate is not easy. It's who you are that's gonna make it easy. But who you are depends on your household and your surrounding. We talked about that in the very beginning. You put a flea. A flea can jump about 36 inches easily. But put a flea in a jar about yay big.
Yeah, them Jones.
That's all they're gonna jump for the next generation. That's all because it's your surrounding. So when you don't have the family bond, you don't have the respect and the structure in the household where everybody sits on their phone, or like even in the dinner table, everybody sitting down with their phones. I had a friend of mine, my age, eating on my table. He had his AirPods on. My friend, grown ass man with beard. I said, Habibi, take your AirPods off.
Yeah,
this
that's
is my table.
It's chameleon time.
My kids are watching.
Let's fellowship. Let's
talk.
talk.
Let's talk. Even if we're not talking, let's just sit down like adults. You know what? I tell you what, my dad taught us this before, in Iraq growing up. He taught us two things. I will never forget that. One is every day, because me and my two brothers, so I'm 35, gonna be 35. My brother is 36 and my other brother 37. So I have two younger siblings, but we grew up like 1 year apart. Dad would come home with 6 pieces of wood. Right? He gives us each piece of wood and we break it. He said, break it, we break it. Then he puts 3 together. And we're kids, He said, break it. He pass it around, we can't break it. He said, that's what happens when you stick together. Ain't nobody can break it. Second thing he taught us, what did you learn today?
Come on, bro.
Now, you don't want, how it is. We grow up with siblings. You don't want to be like idiot in the family that didn't learn nothing. So he doesn't force you to do anything. He just sits in the table. What did you learn today? Rob, I learned if you mix this color and this color, you get brown. Okay, me, I learned if you drink a bar of Sprite, you'll be burping all the time. And then Rob Jr. is quiet. Nobody wants to be Rob Jr., right? So automatically, unintentionally, it forces you to learn something new every single day. But that's the family presence.
This is so good.
Because everybody sits and everybody talking to each other, and now we miss that.
This is so good.
We miss that. So for me, like, I do everything in my power, unless I have to, not to miss a meal with my kids where I can sit and look them in the eye. Right before we eat, we say, we say something. We say Bismillah, which is Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, which is in the name of God. We bless the table before we even eat. But I tell you what, man, in my household, I don't care who you are, where you grew up, what you do, how much money you got. You do not play with food in my household. If I say, hey, Rob, pass me the apple, there's no tossing an apple. That's food. That's God's grace. You're going to toss God's grace at me, and I drop it down in the ground where I walk with my shoes that I went to the bathroom with, public bathroom. Nuh-uh, we ain't doing that. We don't play with food. We don't disrespect God's grace, because that can be taken away in any second. I was there.
I want y'all to pay attention to something, man. This is deep. Hear me clearly, guys. Hear me clearly. Two men from two opposite sides of the world, right? Totally different backgrounds. But look at this. The morals are in alignment. How is that, guys? He talked about a great mother and a great father. He talked about how his dad installed and ingrained in him certain morals. You're going to be better than me. I tell my kids the same thing. I want to be just like Dad. No, you're going to be greater than me. The mom, who was his place of rest, his place of peace. I want you to pay attention to that, because if you hearing him talk, I'm looking at this man and I'm not talking much because it sounds down to the T. And this is why I always say, stop letting politics and all this nonsense separate you from your blessings, guys, because power is in relationships. Stop letting that stuff, Democrat, Republic, I'm this religion, is this religion. You know what I mean? It's like, yo, I told a lady this today. I said, a lady argued me down on the phone about how investors are bad and they're evil. And no matter what I said to her, she kept going back to as to how investors are bad and evil. And I said, you know what? I'm going to leave you with this. A man and woman against their will is of the same opinion still.
Still 100%.
A man and woman, a man or woman against a will is of the same opinion still. I got that from Pace. I don't know.
That's right.
But
I agree.
it don't matter how much.
Don't
You
matter.
won't always remember what a person said to you.
That's right.
But you will remember how a person made you feel.
Exactly.
That's one thing. That's why me and you.
I love that. I love that so much because I can give everybody right now. Let's just say I'm gonna ask you, what were you last week at 10 p.m.? You have no idea. Like last week, oh, man, I don't know. I was home.
Mhm.
But if I tell you, I know we're gonna use it probably in a little bit of extreme example. But if I tell you, what were you September 11th during the attack?
Oh my God.
You remember that? Why?
I know exactly where I was at.
Emotion.
I know exactly where I was at.
Emotion. You remember how you felt.
That's
So
deep.
imagine if somebody makes you feel a certain way, you will always remember that. But here's the thing. I'll tell you what, I sat down over here and you guys thought that's going to be like all real estate, right? But here's the thing. The mindset prepared both of us to be able to do real estate ins and out like there is no tomorrow. But here's the thing. I sat down over here and he allowed me to talk about my story. And I talked about my story like I just rehearsed it. That's not because that's what I wanted to talk about. That's because I never forget where I came from.
Wow, bro. That's
so
powerful, man. Guys, I think we're going to have to do a part 2, man.
Maybe real estate.
We're going to have to do a part 2, guys, because we already out, guys. Already out of time. We got to land the plane, guys.
We're going to have to do a real estate.
We got to land this plane,
We'll
man.
see how it goes.
Real quick, bro.
Yes, sir.
Real quick. The audience. And again, man, we got to wrap up here, guys. This is so good, man. I stay here another 2 hours if I could. Leave the audience, man, that's listening in right now, that's going through the trials and tribulations of life, right? They dealing with their own war zone right now, whether that's mentally, physically, spiritually, man, financially. Give them some words of encouragement and some words of wisdom before we get out of here.
Absolutely. First one, I'm gonna touch down on pretty much in the financial side because that's what everybody, that's the real struggle for a lot of people. But if I were to give you just one piece of advice, is this: it's okay to be broke. It's not okay to be poor. And it's a mindset to be poor or a broke. Yeah. So, but here's the thing: when you're broke and you're trying to make it, don't let that break your spirit, because when you attend a birthday and you got kids just hitting the pinata, nothing, hitting the pinata, nothing, hitting the pinata, nothing, hitting and hitting and hitting, eventually it's gonna pop. Because what's happening is you're out there, you're trying to make it. You think you're trying to make it, but you're doing it. And what you're doing is whatever bubble you're in, you're causing the damage in the inside for it to break so you can get out. You're an apple seed covered with dirt. You're trying to get your way out of the dirt. Imagine that. You're in a pinata. You're inside. You're trying to get out. Everybody's hitting the pinata. Nobody's seen anything. But eventually, the pinata, the inside is just cracking. It's breaking. It's breaking. And it's breaking. So what are you doing is you're work, nothing. Work, nothing. Work, nothing. Work, bah! Boom.
Yeah.
Candy. Everybody getting the sweet. Yeah. Everybody's having fun.
Yeah.
Last but not least, that's what got me through real estate and working at 55 hours is this: sleep fast. You're gonna sleep more when you're rich.
I love that.
That's my quote.
I love that. Raqi, where can they follow you at, man?
Facebook, Instagram. I'm active on both. Just search my name. It's easy to find. I'm always the first one to pop.
I love you. What's next for Raqi, man?
Next for me, honestly, if I'm being 100% honest with you, I'm rich. I want to be wealthy. I want to be wealthy, and I want to take my kids out of this public school. I want to be able to teach them the tradition, the love, the care, and everything that shapes a household. So they're not influenced by somebody sitting in the chair because of the paycheck.
What's your definition of wealth?
Definition of wealth is this: if you're in a position where you can turn around, extend your arm, and lift another brother and sister up, you're wealthy.
Enough said. Rock, thank you so much, bro.
Yes, sir.
This been a blessing.
I love you, brother.
No, man.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you for having me here.
Man, guys, it's been another amazing episode of the Rob Van Harris Show, man. As I could tell you, I can tell you guys, the comments, he didn't even get a chance to list a lot of the comments that's over here on the side, guys. And I don't know why they don't show up on like the YouTube channel. They only show up when we're live, but it's a lot of comments, guys. We're going to have to do part 2 of this. This was amazing. Guys, as I always tell y'all, let's continue to go and grow. I see y'all on the next show. Let's get it. Appreciate y'all, man. Love y'all. Stay blessed.
Peace.